Honestly, the first time that I went to a gym the night before, I was so nervous. But I asked my husband how to deal with those nerves, how to deal with that feeling that everyone was going to be looking at me, that I was going to stand out like a sore thumb because I felt like I didn't belong. It was just such a shift from everything that I'd always done. I'd always worked out alone. I'd always run at night so that there were hardly any people or cars around. I'd always kind of hidden it away. However, now looking back, I can honestly say joining a gym was one of the best things I've ever done in my life. So if you're considering it, but there's still this element of fear that is stopping you, I'm going to explain to you that first time stepping foot into the gym and how it's not as bad as your little brain is making it out to be. So we're going to break this into sections just so that you can skip if you don't feel like you need a certain section. The first one is preparing, what to wear, what to take, how to get yourself in that right frame of mind for walking through those doors for the first time, because it is a big deal if you've never done it before, or if you haven't done it in a really long time and you're stepping back in. It can feel very intimidating, and I can completely understand why. We're also going to go over what actually happens. So most gyms will do an induction, we'll go through that, and if they don't, they should for health and safety reasons, but if they don't, or if you choose not to take that induction, we'll walk through kind of how you should approach that first time setting foot inside the gym. Then we'll go over what everyone's really afraid of, which is that everyone's looking at them. I have a few tips for that, but especially one major one that will change how you're thinking about it entirely. And then we will also go over specific types of equipment and the fact that you don't need to know how to use everything off the bat. Nobody does. And finally, we'll just tackle how to approach that first session. You don't really want to be going into the gym for your first time, walk in, take a look around, turn around and leave, because once you're through those doors, that is the hardest part up until that point. The next hardest part is getting that first workout done. So if you can do both in the same day, you're going to feel unstoppable and you're going to want to go back. If you go there and just look around, just kind of get a feel for it, get the vibe, it's important. But if you're not actually doing something there, you're not going to feel the benefits of it more than anything else. So you're going to struggle to actually get up and get back, even if you didn't find it that scary. So first of all, what to prepare before you go. So my big tip here actually would be not to take too much. So you can eventually take whatever you want to the gym. You can take a bag, you can take your coat, you can take your water bottle, you can take everything, and you can shove it in a locker, or you can carry it around with you, whatever you choose to do, because it's your time. We're going to go over this, but it is your time there. No one's looking at you and you're allowed to do what you want. However, I would say for the first time walking in, the less kind of fumbling that you can do, the less awkwardness that you can feel is going to be better for you. What I would take: phone, keys, headphones, literally it, nothing else. Don't bother with some clunky big metal water bottle. There's going to be water there. There's going to be a vending machine probably that you can get other drinks from. The last thing you want is to be dragging this giant gallon water bottle around with you, banging it off of stuff. And then the second that you fumble with it or you drop it, you're going to feel really embarrassed and really awkward. So I take that out of the equation entirely. Just go with the bare minimum. Clothing wise, just focus on feeling comfortable. So I know some people think that there is a set dress code for a gym. And of course you do need to wear appropriate clothes to work out, and you need to be able to move in it. It needs to have some stretch. It needs to be kind of sweat wicking if possible, but find something that you feel comfortable in. If that is a giant t-shirt and tracksuit bottoms and some old shoes you've worn for 5 years, that doesn't matter if it's what makes you feel comfy. Because if you put yourself in something thinking that it's the right thing to wear to the gym, but you don't feel comfortable in it, that feeling's not going to go away. That entire time you're wearing that and you're at the gym, you're going to feel exactly the same. So definitely focus on your comfort above all else. Wear whatever you want to wear, whatever you feel strongest and most comfortable and confident in. Walking in for the first time, I would suggest that whatever gym you use, check out how you enter before you go. So on their website or in your joining email or somewhere, there will be details on how to actually get into the gym. You might have a pin, you might have to go to reception and actually sign in. Just figure it out so that when you get there, you're not flustered and you don't feel uncomfortable. Just to make it as smooth as possible for you, know how to go from outside of the gym to into the gym all in one step. As I mentioned briefly earlier, gyms should do an induction if you're a new member. Some may not make this mandatory. You may have a choice whether you do this. If you are new to a gym, or if you are returning to a gym after a long break, I would suggest you do this even if you work out from home, because there's so much in a gym that you will never have seen or used before. And it's a really helpful moment to kind of meet a member of the staff. You don't need to become best friends with them, but just knowing their face, knowing that they know your face, might actually help you in the future. So you'll go up to them, you'll introduce yourself, you'll say that you're a new member, you're there for your induction, but you will have booked, and they will take you around. They'll probably ask you what you know how to use, what you don't, and if you say, I know how to use nothing, they will show you how to use everything that you're interested in knowing about. And they'll introduce you to the main areas of the gym, where the classes take place, the free weights area, the cardio area, and that is really helpful for you to actually get a layout of the land, because there's nothing worse than walking into a gym, especially if it's like multiple floors or different zones, and not knowing where anything is. You're going to feel even more out of place if you kind of walk in and you don't know where to go. So having someone who works there actually guide you around, show you how to use the machines is really, really helpful. And it will take off that first layer of like proper nerves about being there, because it makes it seem less new to you. It takes away that I've never been here, I have no idea where anything is, I have no idea how anything works feeling, and it makes you feel more in control of where you are. And if you don't do the induction, or if you do and it's very short and very brief, don't rush yourself. Get a good feeling yourself of the gym. Kind of take a walk around, like look at the different machines, research them if you want to, there's nothing wrong with that. Just focus on what you're interested in and make sure that you take your time. Don't feel rushed by anyone else. Because that plays into this next point, which is what everyone fears the most, and that's that everyone's looking at them when they're in the gym. Especially as a newbie in the gym. If you haven't been before, or you haven't been in a very long time, there can be this feeling. I think you think it's going to be like that feeling when you walk into a really small pub and everyone turns around and like looks at you. And I know for me, it was definitely that thought. It was that idea that everyone was going to be able to pick me out of everyone there and know that I was brand new to it. And I don't know why that worried me so much, because I was new to it. But it was really in my head that I was going to stand out and that people were going to know that. But what you need to remember is that everyone in that gym was that new person at one point. Even the people who are beefy and beefcakes and really look like they know what they're doing now started as a beginner at some point in their life. And for most people, that memory doesn't go away. They'll remember the first time that they walked into the gym and how they potentially felt and how it led them to where they are now. And if anything, if they look at you, they'll think, well done you, another new person coming into the gym when it's not January to actually improve their life. And it's a great thing. But there is this real fear that everyone's going to look at you and that you're going to stand out. But trust me, no one is looking. Everyone in that gym is so focused. They've got plans on their phones. They've got notebooks with their plans in. They are there to get their job done and leave. They're not there to stand around and watch people and judge them. And if anyone does look at you, it will be 3 reasons. So the first and most popular reason is that you're using something they want to use. So this can be a bit awkward. And we've all had it happen to us, I think. But you'll be on a machine and you will kind of keep looking up and noticing someone's looking at you. And you'll think, okay, a bit weird, but I'll keep going. And then as soon as you leave what you're doing, they're on it. And it all makes sense. So that is something. And it's not something to be scared of. It's just something to keep in mind. If someone's looking at you, maybe that's why. Don't dilly-dally. Don't sit around on your phone for 20 minutes between sets, because they'll stare even harder. The other 2 reasons are a bit different. So the second reason is in between sets, people zone out. So I have done this. Everyone does this. Once they get used to being in a gym, they take a 2-minute rest in between sets. They take a 1-minute rest, however long it is. You kind of, especially if you've got headphones in, you do zone out completely. And you kind of get this glazed look over your face. And it does happen that you realize you've been staring at someone, but you've not been meaning to stare at, or you've been staring directly at their shoe or their weight or something. And it's not personal. It is just that in that moment, because that person is so focused on why they are there, they aren't even thinking about anyone else or anything else. They're so in their head thinking about the one thing that they're doing or the next thing they've got to do that they are just absent. So don't stress as well if someone is kind of glazed look staring at you, because that will probably be why. And the final reason, they might be someone who wants to offer advice. They might be someone who really remembers how it felt being new in a gym, not knowing how to do something, doing something wrong. And if they see you doing it the same way, they might want to help you. And that is a really nice thing. And I think it's what's lacking in a lot of mainstream gyms nowadays, is this kind of community, but that does still happen. So if someone is looking at you and then they come over and they take a headphone out, chat with them. That might be why. They might suggest you change something about your form to make your exercise more efficient or less risky. And so just because someone's looking at you, if they are, very small likelihood, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. So get that fear out of your head and try to push it away as much as possible. And then when it does come to your first session in the gym, after your induction, after you've had a bit of a walk around and figure out what you want to do, trust me when I say that there is nothing wrong with standing in front of a machine that you're about to use and Googling it, right? Or watching on your app the video that comes with it that shows you how to use that machine. Don't feel rushed. A lot of machines now in mainstream gyms have QR codes on them that you can scan. It will take you potentially to that gym's app, and then you'll see like a guide on how to use it and potentially a video as well. Watch it. No one cares. So if you don't know how to use something, don't be scared to research it, even there and then. And then on top of that, there is also nothing wrong with asking a member of the team. That is what they're there for. Those people who work in gyms want to talk to people. It is their bread and butter. I mean, partly because they are also PTs. So talking to people is a great gateway for them to find clients. So they'll never turn you away. They'll never say, I'm too busy to talk to you right now. They will always talk to you. But also they're trained to work there. Go ask them. They will show you. They will happily show you and help you to probably start your first set and maybe even stand by while you finish completely, because that is their job. So don't be scared to do that either. And then finally, like I said, you don't want to just walk in, have your induction, look around and then leave. You want to walk in, have your induction, look around, and do a session by yourself or with a coach or however you're planning to do it. So my tip for that would be to take this first session very slowly. Ease yourself in, don't overwork yourself, don't give yourself too much stress. You have done the hard part at this point. You should be really proud of yourself for even being there, for even getting through those original anxieties and fears. You've done it. But now that you've done it, you need to actually do a workout. And another benefit of this is it is going to help you realize partly why you're there, but also the fact that no one cares that you're there. No one is watching you. So I would go in with a plan. Make sure that you have 3 or 4 exercises at the very minimum that you're going to go in, complete properly, and leave. Don't give yourself an ambitious plan that I'm going to go in, I'm going to do a full free weight workout, I'm going to use every machine, I'm going to go on a treadmill. Like, don't overwork it. You need to get in there and you need to do something. That is all you're doing today. If you're brand new to a gym, I would suggest going in with a plan to use a couple of the machines. They're more beginner friendly than jumping straight into the free weight area. Even if you've been using free weights at home, it's a different game in a gym. And then the machines ensure that you're keeping the right form. Because they're holding you in a certain position, there is no way that you're going to arch your back. There's no way you're going to lift improperly. You're going to be much safer using a machine. So go in, have a plan of 3 to 4 exercises you're going to complete on the machines, 3 to 4 sets of each, and then leave. And you're going to feel on top of the world, and you'll want to return, and it will all be good from there because you've done the hard part. If this resonated with you, that is exactly the person that I coach. I coach for people who have felt out of place in the gym, who have been last to be picked in PE, who have been excluded from sports. Fitness and sport does not feel inclusive enough at the moment, and I want to help those people who feel excluded from it. So if that's you, make sure to subscribe, find me on Instagram and give me a follow, and drop me a DM.